Hi, Cooper Glover 1972, back with another video, part 37, I believe. Um, so, as I've done before, I've tried to group directors all together into one video. Um, at a certain stage, we're going to be at a miscellaneous level where when I show you show you movies, that they're going to be a hodgepodge of all kinds of genres or directors or what have you, because at that particular point there might not be enough of that director's work to validate its own video. Um, but I'm going to try to do some of them that way. If I have a sizable collection of a director's work rather, then I'm going to try to keep it in one video, or just if I have a few directors, I'm going to keep them. If I give two or three, I'm just going to keep them in one video. So, or just one director. Whatever it is. So this video is going to focus. It's definitely going to focus on Quentin Tarantino's films. And then after that, I have Clint Eastwood as an actor, also as a director. And we'll see how the video goes, how long it goes. If it's not too long, I'll get to Clint Eastwood, and then that's going to be followed by Oliver Stone. But if after Clint Eastwood the video has gone on for a while, then Oliver Stone will get another video of his own. So let's get into the video now. So we've got some Quentin Tarantino films. The first one I'll show you is Pulp Fiction. I know that a lot of people like this film, but I'm not one of the people that really like it a lot. So you might ask the question, why did I bother buying it? I just want to know why it's so acclaimed. I also told you that I have a big film book collection. And among those, I have these BFI books. They're British Film Institute books. They're these small, really small books. They're like 170 pages or so. And they have some pictures in it of the movie and comparing it to other movies. So I bought the one on Pulp Fiction as well as a whole bunch of other ones. And the reason why I bought the book was because I wanted to understand it better. Maybe if I read more material about why it's such an acclaimed film, maybe I changed my opinion. I will say that the second time I watched it, realizing for the second time that it wasn't being shown in chronological order, that the story it wasn't from beginning to end, but I guess the end of the film, not the end of the film, the end of the story is the beginning of the movie. And the end of the movie is also the end of the story as well. And the beginning and the middle are sandwiched in between. So I don't know if I had to give this more views, but I'm not really wild about this movie. Not really. I know it's highly praised. I think it made Miramax a big company. It made it a contender, but I don't know. Miramax has made better films, in my opinion. Uma Thurman there on the front, and then you have Bruce Willis, Ving Rhames, Tim Roth. I don't know. It's just, what can I say about this movie? There's John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson. And it's not to say that I don't like some of Quentin Tarantino's films, because I like some of them. There's some I dislike a lot, and this one is one of those. I have Reservoir Dogs on videotape, and I'm not. I think I like that film even less than Pulp Fiction, because I think it's just too talky. It's well, oh, here's Harvey Keitel right there. Um, I think it's kind of pretentious. I know that word is bandied about, used a lot, and it's just pays it. It's too self-referential or what have you. Um, Reservoir Dogs, and I don't know, just doesn't get me. I guess it comes with this booklet here. But the reason I bought this was I wanted to know why do people like this film so much. I guess it's regarded as one of the best films of the 90s. I have watched some of the special features on this disc, and one of the things I watched was when Pulp Fiction won the Palme d'Or at Cannes, and when Quentin Tarantino and Harvey Weinstein, I think Harvey Weinstein walks onto the stage with Quentin Tarantino, they're getting catcalls from the audience. I think Godard thinks. Quentin Tarantino sort of does a lot of homage or some homage to Godard. His company is called Band Apart, which is after one of Godard's movies, Band of Outsiders, or his French title, Band Apart. But Godard, if you look on the internet, like there's a article. I don't know if it's Taste of Cinema. I don't know what it is. It's directors talking about other directors, what their opinions are. Most of them, I think most of them, they don't really like their other directors, maybe because each director has a huge ego and a huge image of themselves. And Godard didn't really have anything pleasing to say about Quentin Tarantino, So, but anyways, I don't know if I want to get into too much detail about this because it's just, I don't know, it's just doesn't really hit me. And I could read. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just. It's got a Pulp Fiction: The Facts documentary, deleted scenes, the Charlie Rose Show interview with Quentin, Siskel and Ebert at the movies, the Tarantino generation, production design featurette, behind the scenes montages, interviews from the Independent Spirit Awards, Palme d'Or acceptance speech, reviews and articles analyzing the film, theatrical trailers from around the world, TV spots, 8 different still galleries featuring hundreds of photos, soundtrack, chapter stumps, some DVD-ROM features, screenplay viewer, oh, that's a DVD-ROM feature, and an open mic commentary, so a DVD-ROM feature. So I don't really, I'll just read this quote here, a blurb, a work of blazing originality. It places Quentin Tarantino in the front ranks of American filmmakers, and that's according to the New York Times. But it just didn't do anything for me. However, a film that did do something for me, that was by Quentin Tarantino, a film that I saw twice in the movie theaters because I couldn't wait for it to come onto DVD, and it's Kill Bill Volume 1. This film, there's not a lot of special features on the back. There's making Kill Bill, but I think it's pretty short. There's a bonus musical performance by the 5-6-7-8, the girl band, the woman band at the House of Blue Leaves at the end of the film. Quentin Tarantino movie trailers, including Kill Bill Volume 2. So, but this is followed by a film that's pretty good as well, but not as good as the first one in my opinion. Kill Bill Volume 2. It's going to be made. These were going to be made as one movie. I think there might have been a third thought of, but anyways, they're split into two. And like Quentin Tarantino, his pattern of non-chronological filmmaking, so it's sort of told out of order, but I didn't mind that in this particular instance. Um, um, Especially the House of Blue Leaves, the ending there at the restaurant in Japan, where where the bride fights the crazy 88s and the Lucy Liu character. What's her name? I can't remember. Um, what's the name of the Lucy Liu character? I can't remember. But she gets in this huge sword fight with tons and tons of people, which is just fantastic. Yeah, but Kill Bill Volume 2 is not as good as Volume 1 in my opinion. At the start, she tries to kill Michael Madsen's character, and she ends up being put in a coffin and being buried in the ground. And what happens next is pretty interesting. Yeah, so Kill Bill is pretty fun, enjoyable watch. And the last Quentin Tarantino I'll show you is Inglourious Bastards. I might have watched one of the special features. A friend of mine, I think, watched all of them or most of them. And he said that the special features on this are great. So I got to take a look at that. I saw this film in the theaters. I don't know if I watched this whole DVD, but I enjoyed this film a lot. It's like an alternative view of World War II. Had it gone a different way, and I love what happens to the Nazis in the film. Brad Pitt's in this with Eli Roth. Eli Roth directed Hostel. I haven't seen Hostel, but anyways, Eli Roth, who's basically a director, co-starred in this film with Brad Pitt. Also, my attention was brought to the one of the actors playing one of the Nazis, Christoph Waltz, who I think won an Oscar for this film. Yes, yeah. So this is a really good movie. I really enjoyed this movie. The Inglourious Bastards, they're people that go after the Nazis and they basically treat them like crap, when they get them. They don't just take them prisoner, but they don't treat them well. Let's put them that way. Let's put it that way. There's an interesting scene with one of the bastards in like an underground cafe, a basement cafe with the Nazis, and he's trying to fake. Maybe he's an English. Maybe he's not an American soldier. Maybe he's a British soldier, but he's pretending he's a Nazi, and the Nazis sort of catch on to the fact that he's not a Nazi. So that's a pretty interesting scene. Since we're 14 minutes in, I think I can handle another actor-director. That would be Clint Eastwood. These two particular films, the first two I'll show for a few dollars more. I have two of the Dollars trilogy films. I don't have For a Fistful of Dollars. For a Fistful of Dollars is based on Yojimbo by Kurosawa. And I like Yojimbo a lot. It's one of my favorite Kurosawa films. But For a Fistful of Dollars, I didn't really care for. I didn't think it was really that great a movie. But the second one in the Dollars trilogy, For a Few Dollars More, I like a lot. Klaus Kinski is featured in this. I mentioned that when I mentioned Klaus Kinski being in another, maybe in this film or in a film I was going to show later on, and that would be this film, when I was showing the Herzog-Kinski box set a few videos back, I mean. This also stars Lee Van Cleef, and it's one of the spaghetti westerns. Oh, and I do have another movie. I'll show that in the midst of the Eastwood films because it's a spaghetti western too. This film was directed by Sergio Leone. Sergio Leone was one of the spaghetti western directors. This particular movie, what is the plot of this film? I think these bandits are trying to find this money, and Lee Van Cleef and I think they're bounty hunters, Lee Van Cleef and Clint Eastwood, and they go along with these outlaws who are what the bounty hunters want, and I think and these outlaws, these bandits, they want to rob a bank or something like that. So if that's correct. Yeah, they are bounty hunters. That's right. Yeah, so they're bandits, and Jean Maria Volante is in this as well. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. When I showed you my Italian movies earlier, um, in the earlier part of my series of videos of my entire DVD and Blu-ray collection, he was in a film called a Citizen Above. What's it called? Investigation of a Citizen Above Suspicion. So he's in this as well. He plays the main villain, and Klaus Kinski plays one of the bandits. One of the bandits that is part of his gang. So, and now David Lean. When I talked about Dr. Zhivago, one of the smaller roles when Zhivago and his family head out of Moscow to, I guess, the Ural Mountains, to the countryside of Russia. He's on the train, Klaus Kinski. So that's another place we'll find Klaus Kinski. And this is, for a few dollars more, I would say is one of my favorite westerns, but also one of my favorite westerns, the third in the Dallas trilogy, is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. He's called the man with no name, Clint Eastwood, in all three of these. In this particular film, Eli Wallach's character, he calls him Blondie, and this is Lee Van Cleef here. It's all about searching, getting to this. There's no artwork. It's just lettering, but for the DVDs. What was I going to say? So all three of them are in pursuit of acquiring some coins, some money that's buried at a cemetery. So it's just a special features there. So it came with this, which is a soundtrack advertisement. And it came with this piece of paper here, which has some 15 minutes of added footage, deleted scenes, audio commentary by film historian Richard Schickel. By the way, I think I mentioned Richard Schickel on the commentaries. Oh yes, on this commentary, I talked about La Dolce Vita in a previous video and how he's a good writer, but he doesn't do really good commentaries, in my opinion. The commentary on for a few dollars, for a fistful of dollars, no wait, for a few dollars more, right? Is film historian Sir Christopher Frayling. And for a few dollars more, it's got a new Standard, Sir Christopher Frayling on A Few Dollars More, Back for More, Clint Eastwood Remembers for a Few Dollars More, I can't read that well. Friends Remember Sergio Leone for a Few Dollars More, the original American release. I can't. I'm having trouble reading this. Location comparisons then and now. Film clips intercut with current footage of the locations. Oh, and since here I go again, I know now I realize that I have another Sergio Leone film. It doesn't have Clint Eastwood, but it's it doesn't have Clint Eastwood, but it's directed by Sergio Leone. So I showed that in a few videos many months ago, maybe a year or so ago, in DVDs and Blu-rays that I had bought, pickups video, but I'll show that again in a few minutes. So this Good, Bad, and the Ugly, it's got fully restored 18 minutes of added footage, deleted scenes. I said that, commentary by film historian Richard Schickel, rather. Leone's West, making a documentary, Leone style documentary on Sergio Leone. The Man Who Lost the Civil War documentary. Reconstructing the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, feature it on the audio re-recording. Il Maestro, Ennio Morricone and the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, feature it on the composer. Probably Ennio Morricone's most famous score that he did, which is the poster gallery, international theatrical mini posters, and original theatrical trailer. This came with some postcards. A few of them, well, I'll show you the booklet first. A few of the movies that I've collected come with various things. As I showed you, the King Kong box set that I got came with some production illustrations. When I get to Batman, Batman Begins has some artwork that came with it, a lithograph. So when we get to that in another video, I'll show you that. It's just a little artwork, for Batman Begins, but I thought I'll show you that. This, I believe, is the Italian advertisement for Good, Bad, and the Ugly. This is, I believe, the German. This is the English or American version. It says, for the three men, the Civil War wasn't hell, it was practice. This is calligraphy on it. I'm thinking this is probably the Japanese one. And then this one, Spanish, maybe? Or maybe French. I think that's French. So that's what came with the box set. So that finishes Good, Bad, and the Ugly for you. Anyways, I'm trying to deliberate what to show you next. I think what we'll look at is the other Sergio Leone film. I'm sort of jumping around with my movies a little bit because one of the Clint Eastwood movies that I decided to show was in one of the boxes in the closet. So I thought it'd be better to group things together so it'd be easier to find and all that on the videos. But before I show you that the other Clint Eastwood movie, well, I have, let's see, 2 other Clint Eastwood movies. I'm going to show you 2 more Leone movies that do not feature Clint Eastwood, and then we'll go back to Eastwood after that. So hold on, we get to another. I'm going to get the other Sergio Leone film. Okay, I'm back with the other Sergio Leone. This was he did do a film called Once Upon a Time in America, but I don't have that. But after Good, Bad, and Ugly, I don't know if he did tons of movies. Maybe he did 3 or 4. But I think this particular film I'm going to show you, I think it came out 71 maybe. 72, I think. Yeah. He wanted another director to make this film for him instead of his shooting it. Trying to remember the director he wanted to hire. I'm drawing a blank. In the end, he ended up directing it, and it's a really good movie. It's Duck You Sucker, also known as A Fistful of Dynamite, with Rod Steiger and James Coburn. It's got a really great starting, and you really can't anticipate what this film is about as you go along because it's full of surprises. Anyways, at the start of the movie, Rod Steiger, he pretends to be this poor peasant, Mexican peasant, and the tables are turned for the people that give him a ride, and then after that particular part is over, James Coburn makes his appearance in the movie, and they start developing, the two of them, a relationship that sort of where they sort of play against each other and make each other do things that James Coburn more so manipulating Rod Steiger's character more to do things that he wouldn't do if he knew what he was actually being told what to do. So he's misled by Coburn to do various activities, and it's set during the Mexican Revolution. And James Coburn's character, he's an Irish character, and he used to live in Ireland, and he was part of the Irish Republican Army, and he was regarded as a terrorist. So he fled the country and he came to Mexico, and just Rod Steiger's this bandit, and he has like a family of they're all men, they're boys and young men and older men, old men, and so the James Coburn character takes advantage of Rod Steiger and basically involves him in the Mexican Revolution without Rod Steiger wanting to actually be a part of that, So that's the plot of the movie. This is a restored and remastered 137-minute version, not shown originally in U.S. theaters. Audio commentary by noted film historian Sir Christopher Frayling. Sergio Donati remembers Duck You Sucker. The Myth of Revolution. Sir Christopher Frayling discusses Leone's political leanings, his maturing method and his style. Once Upon a Time in Italy, aka the Autry exhibition, a behind-the-scenes look at putting together an exhibit on Leone, sorting out the versions. Restoration Italian style, John Kirk discusses restoring the original Italian version for the first DVD release. Location comparisons then and now. Film clips then to now. Film clips intercut with more recent footage of the locations used. 6 radio spots in the original theatrical trailer. This film has a quote from Mao Zedong at the start of the film. I don't remember how the quote exactly goes, but it's something along the lines of the revolution is not a social dinner party, is not a you know a, other activities that are not violent. So that quote is on the screen before the film begins. So just saying that because you might find that of interest, maybe possibly. And then the last Leone I have, and I think is worst, Once Upon a Time in the West. This stars Henry Fonda, Charles Bronson, Claudia Carnell, Jason Robards. It also stars Gabriel Forzetti in it. Gabriel Forzetti, he was in L'Avventura. He played Sandro. He in that film L'Avventura, he was engaged to the what is her name? Anna character played by, I can't remember her name, and instead he takes up a relationship with Claudia played by Monica Vitti. And he's also on Her Majesty's Secret Service. He plays Draco, who's the father of Teresa. And Teresa ends up, well, she ends up marrying James Bond at the end of on Her Majesty's Secret Service. So, but he also appeared in this movie as well. So, anyways, Henry Fonda plays a bad guy in this movie, which is not the normal role he usually played in movies. I think Charles Bronson's character, something happened to him at a certain point. That I think he has a vendetta against him. Maybe I think this is the uncut masterpiece. This one was shot in America itself, in Monument Valley. So I'll read this blurb here. Well, not blurb, but paragraph. Sergio Leone's original uncut masterpiece is a monumental epic. The picture itself is as big as its Monument Valley locations, as grand as its fine, distinguished cast, and as tough and bawdy as everybody imagines the Old West. Henry Fonda plays the blackest character of his long career, and he's utterly convincing as Frank, the ruthless, murderous psychopath who suffers no conscience pangs after annihilating an entire family. Jason Robards is a half-breed falsely accused of the terrible slaughter. Charles Bronson plays the man who remembers how his brother was savagely tortured. Brilliantly directed by Leone, this glorious picture reestablished the Western significance to cinema art. I know this film is praised, but for me it's too slow, and not that I don't like long movies. You can see that I like Lawrence of Arabia and Dr. Zhivago. I really love those movies. And there's other movies. There's a movie coming up I like to watch. It's a bad movie, but I like to watch it, and that's long. There are other movies I've shown you, like Barry Lyndon, 3 hours, 15 minutes, La Dolce Vita. So the length doesn't matter about this movie. It's the fact that I don't know if, I know pacing can be slow in a movie and still be a good movie. You take Tarkovsky with Andrei Rublev or something like that. But in this particular case, it just didn't work for me. It's got a commentary with directors John Carpenter, John Milius, and Alex Cox. Alex Cox directed Repo Man, and I had that. I'll show that when we get there. Plus film historian Christopher Frayling, writer of Leone's biography, and Dr. Sheldon Hall, plus additional comments from cast and crew. 3 documentaries that include exclusive interviews with Claudia Carnell. She was in 8½. Claudia Carnell. She was also in, I believe, she was in The Leopard by Visconti, and she was the love interest of Alain Delon in that movie, I believe. Gabriel Frazzetti, Bernardo Bertolucci, and cinematographer Tonino Del Cody, with contributions from John Carpenter, John Milius, Alex Coxer, Christopher Frayling, and Dr. Sheldon Hall. An opera of violence, The Wages of Sin, Something to Do with Death, Railroad Revolutionizing the West featurette, location gallery, production gallery, cast profiles, theatrical trailer. So, yeah, I just I couldn't get into this film. I haven't watched it in a while. The starting's kind of interesting. Like the rest of the film, the starting is kind of slow, but it's kind of a interesting starting. But besides that, it really doesn't hit me. So going back to Clint Eastwood, Clint Eastwood worked for two directors had a huge influence on him. Leone was one of them, and the other director that was a big influence on him was another director by the name of Don Siegel. And he started this franchise that Clint Eastwood was in, and maybe you can guess who it is, Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry is a sort of not by the book kind of cop. He doesn't what's the word I'm looking for? Kowtow to criminals. He doesn't bargain with them. He doesn't compromise. He'll do whatever it takes to go after criminals. And there's a particular criminal in this film that is ransoming and blackmailing the San Francisco police and government, but it's a really good action movie. If you're wondering if this film is where he says, "Go ahead, make my day," it isn't. That was said in, I think it's Sudden Impact. I think that's the name of the film. The second one, I think, was called Magnum Force. I've seen Magnum Force. I didn't see Sudden Impact. I know there's one called The Deadpool. That might be the fourth in the series. But he does say in this film, you got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? In a signature role, Clint Eastwood plays a streetwise San Francisco police detective who gets the job done. A rooftop sniper, Andy Robinson, named Scorpio, has killed twice. Harry Callahan will nail the perp one way or the other, no matter what the system prescribes. Filmed on location, director Don Siegel made The City by the Bay a vital part of the best police thrillers ever made. It's got commentary by Richard Schickel. Clint Eastwood's biographer examines the landmark that revolutionized cinematic crime drama for all time. Dirty Harry's Way and Dirty Harry, the original. 2 insightful featurettes turned cameras on the original film shoot and cast, crew, and others recall the movie's magnum impact 30 years later. Interview gallery, Clint Eastwood and others reminisce about their Dirty Harry series experiences. Dirty Harry movies trailer gallery. Disc 2, The Long Shadow of Dirty Harry, all new incisive examination of the influence and legacy of Dirty Harry. Clint Eastwood, The Man from El Paso, probing biographical look at the iconic movie maker's career. So, at a certain point, Clint Eastwood would direct his own movies. Some that he would star in, and others he would not. But Don Siegel, I'm trying to remember the history of Don Siegel's career. I think he started in television. Maybe I don't know if he directed any Twilight Zone episodes. Maybe he directed Terror at 10,000 feet or 50,000 feet, whatever it's called, with William Shatner. I think he directed that episode. So, he had some experience shooting television. I don't think this is his first directed movie. I think he directed other movies before this. But if you Google Don Siegel, you'll see you can see the evolution of his career. And the music's by Lalo Schifrin. Lalo Schifrin also did the music for George Lucas's first feature, THX 1138, which was also shot in San Francisco. So, we're getting to the last movie of the Clint Eastwood films. This is a film Clint Eastwood actually directed. It was one that won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Maybe you can guess by now what it is. It's Unforgiven. I can't remember if I've watched this film or not. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I saw it in the theater. Might have seen it twice in the theater. I really enjoyed it. It says Eastwood's best movie and the best Western by anybody in over 20 years. Mike Clark, USA Today. Unforgiven is a modern classic that summarizes everything I feel about the Western, director-star Clint Eastwood told the Los Angeles Times. Marking its 10th anniversary with its dazzling new digital transfer, this American Film Institute Top 100 American Movie selection wrote off with 4 1992 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Director, Supporting Actor Gene Hackman, and Editing Joel Cox. Eastwood and Morgan Freeman play retired outlaws who pick up their guns one last time to collect a bounty. Richard Harris is an ill-fated killer for hire, and Hackman is a lawman of sly charm and chilling brutality. Unforgiven is a Western for the ages. Kenneth Turan, Los Angeles Times. Disc 1 has audio commentary by film critic and Eastwood biographer Richard Schickel. Well, there's another one that Schickel did. I don't know if I've listened to the commentary on that. Theatrical trailer. Second disc has 4 marvelous documentaries. 2002's All New, All On Account, Pulling the Trigger. 1992's Eastwood and Company, Making Unforgiven. 1992's Eastwood, A Star, and Schickel's penetrating 1997 career profile, Eastwood on Eastwood, classic Maverick episode, Duel at Sundown. So Maverick was a show that I believe he did earlier in his career before he took off in the movies. I guess he was maybe he was on Maverick and Rawhide before he was discovered, before he became a big name in the spaghetti westerns of Leone. But this film is dark. It's but it's good. This shows a western in a different frame of because like other westerns like glorify violence, they glorify killing, and this film sort of waxes poetic on that and says maybe killing's not great, and there has to be some kind of line that we draw in the sand where dignity of people's lives and there's a point to people taking a life and keeping one. So Gene Hackman, I guess he's not an angel either, even though he's a sheriff or whatever, because there's prostitutes and I don't think he treats the prostitutes well, and so I don't know if I'm describing that too well, but basically it's about, that killing is not as glamorous as it seems to be. It's sort of a deglamorized Western, if you will. And I just remembered, I told you I was going to show you the other spaghetti Western. This is not a Clint Eastwood spaghetti Western. It's not a Sergio Leone spaghetti Western. It's done by another spaghetti Western director, Sergio Corbucci. It's called The Great Silence. It's with Klaus Kinski and Jean-Louis Trintignant, who was in The Conformist as the main character who's sent to kill his professor. I showed you that film. That's one of my favorite films of all time. And he also in the Colors trilogy by Kieslowski, in my Polish movie video of Kieslowski, Polanski, and Wajda. And he's in particular Kieslowski Colors movie. He's in red. He plays the judge who's listening in on phone calls. In this particular film, he plays a mute gunslinger, and he kills people that are bad, but they had to draw their gun first and fire the first shot. Klaus Kinski plays a bounty hunter, and it's not a happy movie. It doesn't have a happy ending, but it's a really good movie. It also has one of the first interracial sex scenes in the film. That might not be shocking for European audiences, but maybe it was kind of new to American audiences. I don't know how widespread it became in America, though. I don't know how many people know about this movie. And I can't recall. Maybe it was Ain't It Cool News that I heard about this film, and that's why I bought it. I think I'm going to read this to you. On an unforgiving, snow-swept frontier, a group of bloodthirsty bounty hunters led by the vicious loco, Klaus Kinski, Nosferatu, for a few dollars more, prey on a band of persecuted outlaws who have taken to the hills. As the price on each head is collected one by one, only a mute gunslinger named Silence, Jean-Louis Trintignant, the conformist, stands between the innocent refugees and the greed and corruption that the bounty hunters represent. But in the harsh, brutal world, the lines between right and wrong aren't always clear, and good doesn't always triumph. Featuring superb photography and a haunting score from Maestro Ennio Morricone, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, director Sergio Corbucci's Django Campaneros, bleak, brilliant, and violent vision of an immoral, honorless West is widely considered to be among the very best and most influential Euro Westerns ever made. It's got a video introduction and liner notes by filmmaker Alex Cox, who made, like I said, Repo Man, and he also made Sid and Nancy. And it also has an alternate happy ending with optional audio commentary by Alex Cox, and uncensored director's cut and a theatrical trailer. So, yeah, this is a good movie, but it's not very bright. Well, not bright. Just a very depressing movie. But excellent movie to watch. So, I think the video has gone on for about maybe 30 minutes, but I think I'm going to add the other director along with these. That's Oliver Stone. I don't think this will take too long, but let's do Oliver Stone. So the first Oliver Stone film I have is The Doors. I do have another Oliver Stone movie on video cassette, which is U-Turn, which is not too bad a movie, with Sean Penn and Jon Voight and Joaquin Phoenix and Billy Bob Thornton, what's her name from Homeland? What is her name? I can't remember her name. Anyways, her and any other people. I can't remember. But that's a good movie. But anyways, the ones I have on DVD. This is one. This is The Doors. This film I wasn't too wild about, but I bought it because I'm a huge Doors fan. Some Oliver Stone is good at capturing the atmosphere of a period, and he's very good at that with films like this movie, JFK, Born on the 4th of July. But like one of the inaccuracies about this film. Here's something that Jim Morrison says: there are things known and things unknown, and in between are the doors. One of the things that's kind of annoying about this film is when they do the Ed Sullivan show in this movie. Not only were there not actual pipes blowing smoke while they were performing, but also when he was told by the one of the people that worked at the show to not say higher in the song because it had a reference to drugs. He was supposed to say better things. We can't get a little better or whatever. And in the movie he says higher, and then he says yeah, and then he lunges in towards the camera. And I have a video cassette of Doors videos, music videos and performances, and he didn't do that on the Ed Sullivan show. He just sang the song. He didn't change the lyrics like they asked him to, but he didn't lunge toward the camera, and he didn't accentuate the word higher. He just sang it like he normally sang it. So that's kind of annoying. This is just, I don't know. Sometimes I might watch this because it's about the Doors and it's interesting, but I don't know. I don't think it's the greatest film. I'd rather listen to the Doors music more than watch this all the time, So that's the Doors. This film I'm kind of split on. I said it is one of the best 90s films ever made. I'm sort of backtracking on that. Have you ever seen a movie that you either like or dislike, and then maybe 5-10 years later you turn the opposite direction and you say, well, you know what, even though I don't like that film anymore, I think I like it more now, or I like it better. I mean, that's slightly the case me with Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, but in this particular case I liked the film at the start, and I don't know, maybe I still like it, but I think my brother found the film kind of distracting with the different Natural Born Killers is the film. This is the director's cut. But some of it has, the different, it's shot in different forms of media, like 16 millimeter, Super 8, video, digital video, 35 millimeter. It's just shot with all these different things. It incorporates cartoons. And it seems kind of a mess in a way. That's what I think about it now. But it's not because of the violence that I sort of turned sour on it. It's just that I don't know. It just doesn't work as much for me. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my opinion on that. I don't know what to think about it, but it's not a bad movie. It was originally a story that came from Quentin Tarantino. It was then taken from him and made by Oliver Stone. I think Oliver Stone wrote the screenplay, but the original story comes from Quentin Tarantino. And Quentin Tarantino was sort of revised this with Kill Bill. But anyways, Kill Bill's cinematographer was also the same cinematographer for this movie. Richardson, or I can't remember his name. But he also did the cinematography for Scorsese's The Aviator, I believe, as well. So he's a big guy. He's a really good cinematographer. This is about a couple uh, who are serial killers, and Oliver Stone says basically the message of the movie is that he's just the messenger, and the media is basically um, the villain. I guess is a villain because if you look right now at what's happening in America. We do need free speech. We do need the media, and I don't know if this shows them in a good light. But this is sort of glamorizing um, serial killers and just it's not a bad movie though. I don't know if I'm really uh, uh, really articulating a, a good summary of the plot or how I feel about this film. It's kind of a mixed blessing, I would say. There's some interesting shots. Um, it uses some good music, uh, but I don't know. Parts of it are kind of overacted. I don't know what to think about this movie. It's kind of a mixed bag, but it was one of my favorite films of the '90s. But I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. So next up, I have a film that has three different versions. I have two of the versions. I consider it a bad movie, but a very enjoyable bad movie. As I mentioned before in what was it? My Rome video, that I like sword and sandal movies and television shows. This is a sword and sandal movie. It's Alexander. This is the director's cut. This particular version comes with Go Behind the Scenes Alexander, with three documentaries: Resurrecting Alexander, Perfect is the Enemy of Good, The Death of Alexander, Evangelist Scores Alexander, theatrical trailers. So, and as a commentary by Oliver Stone as well, which I've listened to, and I think I enjoyed that a lot, the commentary. The director's cut is obviously, I believe, longer than the theatrical cut. Oliver Stone, when he was shooting this, as you might know that there's Murphy's Law that works on film sets, where even if you're all prepared and you've got all your ducks in a row, like something will go wrong, and usually more than one thing will go wrong, and you have to be on top of your game. So, like, one of the things that happened on this particular shoot was, I think one of the camera negatives got overexposed, but he used it to his advantage. And I think I know the scene, and I think that's where it happened. It's a scene where he's charging with his horse in the jungles of India, which was shot in Thailand. I don't remember where, but he falls off the horse and he has like a near-death experience, and that's the scene where I think that the film was overexposed. So, but I think that worked well. It's highly overacted, very hammy acting. One of the worst performances is by what's her name? The former wife of Brad Pitt. What's her name? Angelina Jolie. She has this Eastern European accent. It doesn't really make any sense in the movie. Of course, we don't know what those people talk like at the time because there's no way of referencing that. But her accent is just very weird. And add to that the fact that Colin Farrell, the age he was at when he made this movie, he was sort of in the same age range as Angelina Jolie, who played his mother in the film. So it's kind of a weird. Doesn't really. It's kind of a strange to witness that. And his father is played by Philippi. I think his father was called King Philip. His father is played by Val Kilmer, the guy who played Jim Morrison in The Doors. And they all overact in this movie. It also stars Rosario Dawson. Anthony Hopkins plays Aristotle in this movie. Jared Leto's in this movie, who also was in Fight Club, of course, and some other not Tarantino, David Fincher movies like Panic Room, and he was in what else was he in? He won an Oscar for the Dallas Buyers Club. Jared Leto did. He was in, I think he was in Suicide Squad. He's been in a lot of movies. Obviously, he's a pretty frequent actor, on films. But anyways, it's an enjoyable movie. But then I got an even longer version. So maybe this is the director's cut, even though that one's called the director's cut. And it has a slightly different title. It's called Alexander Revisited, the Final Cut. This is like, it has like it has an all-new introduction by Oliver Stone. And it has like intro music and intermission music, and it's a much longer movie. I haven't watched this. I just watched his introduction. He says, Oliver Stone says this. He says, "This is finally the undiluted, unrated, uncensored film required by the story itself." And Harry Nels of Any Cool News says that Alexander is a stunning film of vision, ideas, performances, and spectacle. So, anyways, that's Alexander for you. Alexander Revisited. This doesn't really have any special features. It's just longer. So at some point I'll give this a watch. So I enjoy that film even though it's bad. This film I haven't watched. I think I've heard it's good. I don't think it is. Well, oh no, it has a commentary on it. And it's based on the 9/11 incident that happened in New York, World Trade Center, with Nicolas Cage and let's see. I think that's Mark Ruffalo, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Nicolas Cage, Michael Pena, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Maria Bello, Stephen Dorff, Jay Hernandez, Michael Shannon, maybe Michael Ruffalo. I mean, Ruffalo's not in this film. Mark Ruffalo. I thought that was him. I guess maybe I don't know, but I hear this is good. My friend watched it, so at some point I'll take a watch in this. And it's got a commentary by director Oliver Stone, on-scene rescuers, and survivor Will Jimeno, and deleted scenes. So one of the best films of the year, according to Richard Roper. A celebration of the human spirit, undeniably uplifting. Claudia Pugh, USA Today. So I'll give that a watch soon. So anyways, that's the end of the video. I'm looking at the top of the bookcase. I'm trying to deliberate how I'm going to show the rest of the films. But in any case, I might weed through and like pick certain movies that are by the same director in different areas and group them together. So while you're watching these videos, they're more organized and together, not all mixed up, so you can find things easier. Anyways, like Terrence Malick, for example. I have a Terrence Malick film on top of the bookcase. I have one in the towers. I have one in one of the boxes. So when I get to Terrence Malick, I think I'm gonna take all those three films and join them together. So Anyways, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you soon, and thanks a lot. Just we'll see you soon, very soon, and I'll try to make this a common experience. So, at any rate, that's the video, and thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye.